Hey there. So a lot of people this time of day are asking whether Christians have to eat what the Bible calls clean or have to obey the Sabbath, which is the fourth commandment of the Decalogue, the Ten Commandments. And so I'm going to give a list of verses for people to study to show themselves approved on the issue. And then I'm going to give an explanation for how to read Paul's writings based on consistency in the Bible. So first off, let's go to Jeremiah chapter 31, verses 31 to 34. This is about Jeremiah saying that the Lord will make a new covenant with the house of Judah and the house of Israel, right? And so this is important because you have to realize that Christians are, technically Jews and Israelites, right? And so when people say, "Oh, the old covenant, all those laws are just for Jews," it's like, well, I've got news for you. Right? So that's one, obviously, but I'm not gonna let it stand alone because in Isaiah it says precept upon precept, line upon line, or maybe that's Ezekiel, right? So now I'm gonna go to the New Testament. So a lot of people like the Sermon on the Mount, so do I, but they all stop before verse 17 in Matthew chapter 5. Because in Matthew chapter 5, verses 17 to 19, Jesus says that he did not come to do away with the law, but to fulfill it. And no, fulfill does not mean destroy, because in the next verse he says, until heaven and earth pass away, not one jot or tittle shall pass away from the law, right? And then next, I'm going to go to Romans, specifically Romans chapter 3, verse 31, Romans chapter 7, verse 7, or chapter 7, verse 7, and then chapter 7, verse 12. And then here, this is basically Paul saying that faith doesn't do away with the law, God forbid. We know what sin is through the law, like it's not a sin to obey the law. Those are basically what he says. And then we're going to have 1 John chapter 3, verse 4, where we get the definition of sin. In the New Testament, it says, sin is transgression of the law, right? And then in Revelation chapter 14, verse 12, it says that the patience of the saints is those who keep the commandments of God and the faith in Jesus, right? So both, right? It's pretty explicit. And then I'm going to add one more, which is 2 Peter chapter 3, verses 15 to 16, where it says, basically, people twist Paul's words, those who are unlearned and unstable, unto their own destruction as they do the rest of the scriptures. So I'm a big consistency guy, and I hope that's enough to convince you to keep the Sabbath and to eat clean. All right, God bless.